The rational root theorem states that if P over Q is the rational root of this polynomial, then P must divide into 15 and Q must divide into 2. So any rational root, fraction, or whole number, the numerator must divide the constant term, the denominator must divide the coefficient of the highest power of x. So to list the possible rational roots, we're going to list all divisors of 15 divided by all possible divisors of 2. Well, the divisors of 15 are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, and plus or minus 15. Those are the only whole numbers which divide into 15. The numbers which divide into 2 are plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2. A much shorter list. So, to find the possible rational zeros, I'm going to take all of these numbers and one at a time divide them by all of these numbers. So I'm going to take plus or minus 1. If I divide that by plus or minus 1, I still get 1. I'm going to take plus or minus 1 divided by plus or minus 2. This number divided by this. And I'm going to continue. Plus or minus 3 divided by plus or minus 1 is 3. Plus or minus 3 divided by plus or minus 2. Plus or minus 5 divided by plus or minus 1. Plus or minus 5 divided by plus or minus 2. And lastly, plus or minus 15 divided by plus or minus 1, and plus or minus 15 divided by plus or minus 2. So if we rewrite this list maybe a little bit nicer, I have plus or minus 1, plus or minus 1/2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 3/2, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 5/2, plus or minus 15, plus or minus 15 halves. So a rather extensive list of possible rational zeros.